So hello and welcome to Physicality Therapies and our first live Pilates session. Just waiting for everyone to join now, and then we'll get underway. Shouldn't be too long. Brilliant. So we're going to start now. So if we start standing, we're going to set ourselves. So imagine your pelvis is like a bucket of water. You're tipping some out the front, some out the back. You're going to get yourself nice and set there. Feet should be shoulder width apart, toes pointing forwards. And we're just going to rock our pelvis backwards and forwards to find that neutral position. And then from there we're going to get our collarbones so that they are nice and wide and smiling. And then we're going to tuck our shoulder blades down into our back pockets. And then from there we're going to go into our first move, our dumbwaiter. So from there we're going to have our arms, palms facing upwards. And then we're going to rotate our arms out, keeping our elbows in at our sides. Out and back in, out and back in. We're just going to keep doing that. And then, so from there, make sure that your neck's nice and relaxed. Make sure that your shoulders are staying down as you're doing that. Just rotating those shoulder joints. And then from there, we're going to extend those arms out and tip as if you've got little glasses of water on your hands. You're going to tip those out and then we're going to come back in. So it's the same movement out, and then we're going to extend out, tip over. And we're going to extend out and tip over. I'm going to keep doing that, another few of those, just to get our shoulders warmed up. I'm going to tip them out and we're going to come back in. And out and back in. And then from there, we're going to go into some walking. So what we mean by this is that we're going to go up onto our tiptoes. We're going to drop one heel at a time into a walking sequence. So we're going to drop one heel at a time. We're going to go into a walking. Again, keeping that pelvis nice and relaxed, keeping it in a nice position. We're going to keep making sure we've got length through our collarbones. Keeping nice and upright as we're doing that. And then from there we're going to bring in our arms. So we're going to bring in our arms to extend out and come back in. And we're going to extend out and come back in. So we're going to extend out and drop one heel, out, drop one heel, and we're going to break that down like that. We're going to extend out, dropping that heel each time. Try and get a nice flow to these. Breathing out as we go out, breathing in as we come back in. So then from there, we're going to position ourselves at the start of our mat and we're going to do our roll down. So from here you want to imagine that your spine is like a stack of blocks. You're going to rotate one block at a time to come down nice and slowly. So from there you're going to start with your chin. You're going to tuck your chin to your chest and you're going to roll down. May need to bend your knees a little bit. Get your hands to the floor and roll back up nice and slowly. So we're going to roll down again, nice and slowly, hands to the floor and roll back up. Roll down again, nice and slowly, hands to the floor and back up. And then from there we're going to turn this now into going right down onto the mat. So to do that, we're going to tuck our chin in, we're going to roll down, walk our hands out till we're onto our knees, and then from there in this sort of press up position we are actually going to do a press up from our knees, pressing down, coming back up and coming back up onto our all fours, so onto our shin bones. In this position again, get yourself nice and set, so rotate that pelvis, make sure that you're nice and flat across here and make sure that You have got your toes nice and pointed out. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to tuck our toes under, if you can, and we are going to push through our arms, lift our knees. So this is a knee. This is going into our knee lift now. So we're going to do our knee lift, and we're going to breathe in and out and down. Lift up, breathe in, breathe out and down. And we're going to lift up, breathe in, breathe out and come down. And then from there we're going to go into our swimming. So we're going to go flat on our front, hands crossed above your head so you can rest your head onto them. I'm not going to rest my head just so that just so you can still hear me. And then from there we're going to extend our leg out. So this isn't a lift, it's not just lifting your leg, you're extending out, you're trying to get some more length in that leg. So from this position you want to again make sure that your shoulders are relaxed, your pelvis is relaxed. You want to make sure that from here what you're doing is you're going to extend that leg, not just lift it. So you're going to extend your leg out and then down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Extend it out and down. Try and get a nice rhythm to these. As we're going, you're looking to extend. Imagine you're trying to touch a button behind you with your feet. So your feet should be pointed as we're trying to extend those feet. So you're going to extend those feet and try and do that a little bit faster as you're going into more of a swimming motion. Try and get that a little bit faster. Try and still maintain that length, maintain that pelvis and those shoulder connections. Making sure we're thinking about keeping those shoulder blades tucked down as we're reaching for that wall behind. And we're going to keep going with these. A few more. Really extend, get a good stretch in those legs. And then from there, you're going to keep in the same position. I'm just going to rotate so that you can see what I'm doing. So I've got enough space. So from there, you're going to put your hands by your side, so at sort of the top end of your mat, just sort of a little bit in front of your ears. And then from there we're going to go into our breaststroke prep. So this is to prepare us for the whole move. So what we want to be doing here is extending our neck just to come up a little bit from the mat. So your head's down, you're extending that neck to come up. You're holding it in that position. It should be sort of be hovering a couple of inches off the mat. So we're going to extend. So think about length, not just lift your head. We're not nodding our head, we're lifting it and we're lengthening it. So again, imagine you've got that peach in between your chin and your chest and you're trying not to squash it. So you lift, so you're extending that neck and down. Extending that neck and down. And again, 2 more of these. Extend that neck and down. Extend and down. So from there, we're going to now combine this with an arm movement. So our arm movement is going to be that we're going to push our arms forwards and round and back to their start. So a nice big circle and back. So now what we're going to do is as we push our arms out, we're going to lift our neck, elongate that neck, and then as the arms come back, relaxing that neck down. Elongating the neck, as the arms come back, relaxing that neck down. Think about length, again think about getting that, making sure that pelvis is connected, making sure that there's no movement from that pelvis as we're doing this movement. And also making sure that your shoulders don't just rise up into your ears. So we're looking to keep those down, Keep a nice big circle as we extend up and come back down. Extend up and back down. We're going to do another 3 of these. So 1, 2, and 3. Brilliant. And then from there, we're going to roll onto our side. Doesn't matter which side you roll onto first. You're going to repeat this later on the other side. And we're going to go into our clams. So we want to align ourselves to the back of our mat. It's the easiest way to do it. So your hips, your heels, and your shoulder should all be in line. If you extend the arm out that's underneath you, you can then rest your head on your shoulder. Want to make sure again with your pelvis that you're not tilted too far forwards, you're not tilted too far back either. So you're in a nice neutral position. And then from there, what you want to do is make sure that your knees are bent to about 90 degrees at your knees, about 45 at your hips. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to extend that top hip. So we're going to push that top hip down. So imagine you're pushing it down towards your toes, and then from there you should get a little space underneath you. It's very small, just that you've then stacked your hips. And then from there, we are lifting this top knee off, rotating at your foot, and you'll feel that in your glutes. So from there, we're peeling that off. And again, we try not to do too much rocking here. So this bit of your pelvis at the top here should remain stationary. Imagine you've got your favourite drink on there, and you really don't want to spill it. So we're keeping that nice and stationary. And you might find if you've done a couple, you can get a little bit further. Just try and make sure you're not doing any of that rocking. Just going to keep going with these. Keep squeezing. And you're just rolling up, keeping that pelvis in that neutral position all the time. Just keeping going. So another couple of these. This is our clam level 1. We're then going to move into our level 2. So we're going to bring our knees up, our feet up off the mat to our knee height. So the height of the rest of our body. So you don't want to be too far up, you don't want to be too low either. So just keep it in line with the rest of your body. And then same thing again, we're peeling that top hip off. This time it's a lot harder to keep that pelvic control. Really focus on that. If you can't get all the way up, that's completely fine. Just do as much as you can do. Keep that pelvis nice and fixed. Brilliant. You can put this hand in front of you to help you balance as well, if that helps, or you can put it so it's in line. Do another couple of these. Keep squeezing, you start to really feel that burn. Keep going. And we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. And then from there, we're going to roll onto our backs now, and we're going to do our hip twists. So we're going to do all 3 levels of hip twist. So we're going to start off with our level 1. So let's start off by setting ourselves in this position. So imagine that you've got a diamond on your tummy going from your pubic bone to your belly button, and you've got a marble within that diamond. You can put your hands on to feel that diamond, so you can rock that diamond side to side, forwards and backwards, and you want to find that position where that marble in that diamond won't move because you're nice and central. Feet sort of shoulder width apart at this stage, hands just relax down. Again, you want to be tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets, extending these collarbones, and then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to roll one leg out, keep that pelvis straight. So imagine you've got a tray of drinks or food across you, and you really don't want to spill it. So from there, you want to push through this stabilising leg, so that that doesn't move either. Push through that leg, roll one out. So once we've got the hands of that, we're now going to turn that into doing one to each side. So we're going to roll one out and back, other one out and back. And this is our hip twist level 1. Doesn't matter how far you go, because if I go sort of there, you can see that my pelvis is starting to get involved. So you want to keep that control as you do it. Keep that control, isolate that movement. So we're going to roll in and out. As you roll out, breathing out. As you roll back in, breathing in. Getting that breathing in there as well. Keeping that neck nice and long as well while we're here. And then from this position, we're now going to go into our hip twist level 2. If you've got a cushion or something, you can put it between your knees. Does make this slightly easier. And what we're going to do is rotate with both legs. So you will get a bit of movement from your pelvis with this, but it's again trying to keep that movement to a minimum. So we're twisting from side to side. And that top foot, the feet stay stacked, knees stay stacked, and hips do all the movement. Try and keep that pelvis control. That's it. Keep that control as we're going. And then from there, we're going to progress that a little bit more. So coming back to that position where our feet are sort of shoulder width apart, we're going to float one leg up. So what we mean by this is you're going to get up into this position. So you're going to point your toes. You're going to get your knee and your hip to 90 degrees. And if you look down now, you should just be able to see your knee. You should be able to see your foot because it's at a nice angle. And then from there, this leg's going to go out and back in. I'm going to move it out and back in. Really push through that stabilising leg to make sure that that pelvis isn't just moving. And move out and back in. Out and back in. It's a bit like you're trying to look at the inner arch of your foot. But keep yourself with your neck extended, looking up to the ceiling. Out and back in. And do a few more on this side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to relax that leg down. And then from there, I'm going to bring our other leg up. And exactly the same to the other side. So we're going to roll out and back in. So it's very much a rolling motion. It's not a dropping, you're not dropping that leg out. It's very much a roll out. We're really working our adductors here. Bringing that leg out to the side and back in. Really good stretch. Going to keep that working. Keep that stabilising leg. Make sure that that stabilising leg, that knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. As we roll out and back in. And we're going to pop that down. And then from there, we're now going to go into a little bit of a sequence of some toe taps and some hip circles. So we're going to start off with our hip circles. So by this, what we're going to do is bring that leg out like before and extend it out as if we're going to push a button and bring it back. So we're going to bring it up like before, out, extend it out and bring it back. So we're doing 2 on that side, let's do 2 on this side. So bring that leg up, drop it out, extend it out, and drop it back. Leg up, out, extend as if we're pushing that button on the wall behind us, and then we're coming back. And then from there we're going to do some toe taps. So I'm going to bring our leg up again, and this time we are not, you're not changing your knee position, it's all from your hip, and you're just going down and up, down and up, like you're just dipping your toes in a pool of water to see what the temperature is. Keep your toes pointed, it's all coming from your hip, so your knee does not change position, hinging from that hip. And do a few more as we do that. On this side. Now we're going to bring our arms in. So as we're doing this, we're just going to pulse our arms at the same time. So just pulsing these arms as we're tapping this foot. So just again, like these arms are just tapping little pools of water as we're pulsing this, our arms, and we're tapping our foot. So just tapping our foot, pulsing our arms, and now we're going to relax this leg back down and do exactly the same with this other leg. So we're going to start off with our taps. So tap, tap. We're going to keep tapping that leg. Bring our arms in. Like we're tapping little pools of water. Just going to keep tapping. And then we're going to relax that leg down. And then from there, we're going to go into our clams on the other side now. So on the other side, what you're going to do is exactly the same as we were doing before. So if I change sides. So again, align yourselves to the back of your mat. So hips, knees, shoulder in line, arm out in front of you. Either this arm here to stabilise, or on your hip, so it's in line, and then again drawing these collarbones and these shoulder blades down, drawing the top hip down slightly just to give you that little gap under here. Won't be massively noticeable, it's just a tiny little gap. And then from there we're going to rotate this top leg into our clam level 1. Going to keep going with this. Really good for the glutes. This really muscle that's often quite underused, especially with sort of our more sedentary jobs and things like that these days. A lot less used and does cause a lot of problems with back pain. Really good one to target. So we're going to keep going with this. Keep rotating. Again, looking for that control, making sure that pelvis isn't just bobbling up and down. If you're struggling to sort of get into this position on your mat, what you can imagine is if your pelvis has got sort of headlights on, this top headlight should be facing ever so slightly down. So it should just be facing sort of as if the beam's going slightly ahead of you, ahead of that mat. You'll start to really feel that in that leg. And then from there, we're going to flip our legs, our feet and heels up into in line with the rest of the body. And then what we're going to do is rotate that top hip. Again, a lot harder now. We're going to keep doing that into a nice rhythm with those. Keep going. Keep rotating. So Again, keeping that control, not pushing too far. As we keep going. And then from there, we are going to go up into our sitting position. So you can either roll up or just push yourself up. We're going to go into a cross-legged sitting position to do some spinal twists. So from here, I want your arms crossed like this in front of you. So palms both facing down, arms just crossed over, and we're just going to twist to each side. So the important thing with this is to keep your neck nice and long, your shoulders tucked down, and as we're rotating we're looking as well. So we're looking at where we're going and you're not wobbling, so you're keeping both of your sitting bones on your mat, so all that pelvis is staying on that mat as we're twisting from side to side, side to side, and we're just going to keep twisting from side to side, just giving that spine a good stretch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to twist to one side, keep it in that position, hold, 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 come back to the middle, twist to your other side, hold, 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 and come back to the middle. And then from there we are going to go into a spine stretch. So if you're on sort of the middle of the mat like I am, move yourself back just a little bit, same position, nice and upright, cross legs, and then what we're going to do is from this position you're just going to come down onto the mat, stretch your arms out in front of you and touch the mat, and hold in this position, hold, 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 and we're going to come back and straighten up, and then again get into this position again, lean forwards, bending down that one block at a time onto your mat, breathing out as you come down. Once you're in the position, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and then slowly come back up. And then from there we're just going to do another couple of those. So again, arms in the same position, we're going to lean forwards, one block of that spine at a time, coming down, leaning forwards, and hold, 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 and we're going to come back up and stretch out, and one more in that position. So get again into that position, palms down, arms crossed, and we're just going to lean forwards, bending one block of that spine at a time, lean forwards, and hold, hold, try and push that stretch a little bit further if you can, hold, and coming back up. And then from there we're just going to get up from our mat into our standing position. So try and get yourself into quite a wide stance this time, feet turned out, and we're just going to keep our knees nice and soft. So we're going to squat down ever so slightly, and then what you're going to do from there is we are going to rotate one hand over, down to the other hand, and sweep it round in a circle, back up. So how that looks is you're going to have one hand that's going down one of your legs, your other hand is going to come from your other leg, from your hip, and you're just going to rotate it up, and you're going to look at that hand as it's coming up, and it's going to go down and round again. So you're going to look at that hand as it comes up, it's going to go down and round. Now look at that hand as it comes up, down and round. We're going to look at that hand as it comes up, down and round. And then that is the end. So I hope you've enjoyed our first live stream Pilates class. Leave us some comments, let us know what you thought, and hope to see you next time.